America into fragmentation is deliberate and financially backed by billionaires and managed by our own intelligence agencies.
Meet Serge Varley, a recruiter at BlackRock.
All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians. You can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. Let me tell you, it's not who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's
and who's that?
The hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run it.
The thing was an op, Mr. Durham. This wasn't like a bumbling, fumbling FBI that couldn't get FISA straight. They ran an op. So who put Mifsud in play? You don't know, do you?
I do not know that. I can't give you the
answer. For
years,
you had years to find out the answer to what Mr. Jordan said was the seminal question, and you don't have it.
The media fuels the projection.
If you are watching Fox News, I've said this before, if you're watching Fox News or following some right-wing radio host or getting Facebook feeds within that bubble, your reality is different than if you read the New York Times or watch your program. Not just during election time, but just this constant demonization of the other side, making people fearful of each other.
You're not helping me. You're scaring my kids. You're making them feel like they don't deserve to be here and that they don't deserve to live. This is on your hands.
Democrats practically legislate that projection.
Racism is a national security threat.
Racism is a national security threat.
Racism is a national security threat.
Institutional racism does exist, and until we accept that, we will not finish our job. We will not elect a chief bigot of the United States of America.
Our system is such that it then allows Americans, people, to act in instances in a racist manner.
I remember after 9/11 when we all worked together to ensure the protection of the American people through the Patriot Act and dealing with the FISA courts. We worked together because truth is important.
But Sheila Jackson would like to go a lot further than that. Lee has just introduced a bill called the Leading Against White Supremacy Act of 2023. Now, it's not an exaggeration to say this single bill would do more to criminalize speech, previously constitutionally guaranteed speech, than any other piece of legislation that has been proposed in the entire history of this country. That's not an overstatement at all, and to prove it, we're going to read directly from the bill. Here it is, quote, "A conspiracy to engage in white supremacy-inspired hate crime shall be determined to exist between two or more persons, at least one of whom published material advancing white supremacy, white supremacist ideology, antagonism based on, quote, replacement theory, or hate speech that vilifies or is otherwise directed against any non-white person or group," end quote. Now, nowhere in the legislation is the term white supremacy or white supremacist ideology ever defined. Of course it's never defined. It's left open. It's subjective. Anything can be white supremacy.
But he has been able to reach the minority of voters in California who embrace his white supremacist worldview.
It actually goes beyond white people. If you have the wrong ideology, then you're automatically a white supremacist.
While a spoiled American generation of digital zombies consume that projection, leading to a host of actions resulting in the downfall of the only civilization they have ever known. What causes a man to shoot a 6-year-old girl and her father in the back over a basketball rolling into his yard?
Kid, he walked through his yard and he said he was going to kill the kid.
6-year-old Kinsley White, her mother and father were shot on Tuesday after children from the neighborhood walked into this man's yard to retrieve a basketball.
Is it merely psychosis brought on by generational systematic oppression, as we would all be led to believe by the Biden administration?
And finally, we're confronting the stains of what remains a deep stain in the soul of the nation: hate and white supremacy. You know, there's a tough through line of subjugation